There we go, guys. Oh my goodness. Okay. Welcome to TCR, guys. I know there's like nobody in here yet because I had to stop the stream and restart it because it disconnected my camera and it went to the default laptop camera, which is grainy and gross and weird. So we'll see if anybody finds us now that I did this because unfortunately I didn't have a choice. It was like terrible, terrible, terrible. So what am I gonna do? But yeah, happy Friday, guys. Hopefully your Friday is going better than mine is. Mine has been a top to bottom hot mess express from the get. Like it actually that's not true. It started out well enough and then it just progressed slightly sideways. So I'm not surprised that of course when I went to start my live, my camera failed. Because of course it would today. That's just what's the deal, you know? So it is what it is. But yeah, I guess it's par for the course today. We'll just say it's fine though. You know, it's fine. It's no big deal. We had we had to drain the water out of the pool again because we had to fix. There was like a rust spot that came through where they added the Baja deck. So we had to have them come back and fix that again, unfortunately. But so of course the dogs were going crazy like all the first half of the day when the guy was here because he's going back and forth and they're watching him go back and forth and losing their minds. And of course, Skylar got herself all anxious and had an accident. So, you know, that's the way it goes, I guess. But it is what it is. But wait, she's sneaking outside. What are you doing?
I'm leaving.
Take them with you.
Okay.
Grief. All right. So there we go. And nobody's chatting today. My goodness. I see there's a few of you in here, but nobody's saying anything unless it's continuing to glitch, which is completely and totally possible that that's what's happening because I would not be surprised at this point. There we go. It's working. Okay. Hi, Doug. It's probably because I had to like restart it and a separate one. I don't know. Hi, Steve C. There we go. It's all, see, there we go. Now there's oh, there wasn't sound. Yeah, of course there wasn't. It was just a hot mess. Don't you love Friday glitches? Don't you just love it? I know I do. Hello, James. Hello, Jack. Hello, Cat for Kitten Britches. I know. I swear today has been like the glitchiest day. It's just, yeah, it's just been a day. That's not over yet. There's still more to do. But yeah, it was just, oh my God, just soft, just like from the start of the day to the end of the day now. It's just been like little things, like nothing major, right? Like nothing like catastrophic. So I can't really complain, but just really annoying stuff all day like that has just been like, and then I've had to make a lot of important phone calls today. And for some reason, my phone has decided that it doesn't want to work as a phone. So I'll be in the middle of a phone call and it just drops the call. And I'm like, really? Are we having sun flares today? I don't know. But anyway, it's just been one of those days. Hello, Mike Cole from the Nashville area. Yes, thank you, Steve C. He says, don't forget to hit that like button. I appreciate you. Yes. Franklin Norrid from Alabama. And Peter with a big hello from Florida. Florida. We like Florida. They've got oranges and gators. It's about, and Mickey Mouse. It's about the extent of my knowledge, I think, on Florida. And freedom. So there's that. Yeah. But no, it's I mean, man, it's starting to get hot. We've got beautiful weather this week. Mike's garden's doing really well. I might have to sneak out there and do a garden update. I've got a fun video planned for Sunday that kind of went to a crawfish boil for Louisiana State University alumni with one of my friends. And so I got a fun quick little video that we put together with that. So out and about with Sam, I am. $20 super chat. Friday night refreshment fund. I love it. Thank you. I think I will definitely. I do have a meeting tonight at 5:30. Not that type of meeting, not a like, hello, my name is Sid kind of meeting, but like a meeting that I don't want to have beer breath for. But I think I definitely have a beer in the fridge with my name on it after today. So I will definitely be dipping into that replenishment fund. Sam, I am. I appreciate you. Thank you very much. So yeah. But let me just take care of that real quick. Um, there we go. That's good. We do that. Yeah. So this weekend we've got a few little odds and ends to do around here. I got a little bit backdated on like some of my chores and some of my laundry, so I got to kind of play catch up with all of the above. Like I need to do. We had a little bit of rain and then it got really, really hot. And then my feed bag broke or my hay bag, I should say. So the hay kind of went everywhere in the goat pen. So I need to like clean that out really well this weekend. Lots of shoveling in my future. I'm excited. And just some weird little odds and ends like that. I think I don't think he has any planting to do, but I do think he does have some work in the garden to do this weekend. And then we have a couple little things that we have on our like fix it list of things that we noticed after we did a lot of the renovations that were like, oh, I didn't notice this mark on the wall, or oh, I didn't see like, oh, we forgot this light cover or whatever. So there's just a couple little things like that that we're kind of like we've made notes on over the last couple weeks, and we're like, oh, we need to go back and fix this or do this or whatever. So we're just kind of hitting that list this week and trying to kind of get it done, so that then we can really say that's done, done, done. We don't have to worry about it anymore. But yeah, my mom is actually getting ready to go in for like a triple bypass, which is kind of a big deal. So, which is weird because she was supposed to have already had it, but they had to delay it twice now. So now they've pushed it out into July. So I have no idea yet when for sure, but it's kind of a bummer because obviously it's a bummer. I mean, anything like that is not happy. But so I'm hoping it goes smoothly and that she's recovered enough, or recovers. They want to make sure all her levels are good, which is why they pushed it out a little bit further. But they said her heart is strong. It's just blocked a bit, I guess. So just kind of, it is a huge deal. She's kind of, I mean, I know she's worried and she's definitely acting like it's a big deal in some ways, but in other ways she's almost like not acting like it's a big deal. Like she's the one that kind of put it off the first time for a few weeks. And then this time it's the doctor saying, oh, your levels aren't where we want them yet. We're going to switch things around and, you know, but it is a big deal. The irony was kind of like my mom was telling me like, oh, you should go get your heart checked like right now when you're healthy, and because you know it runs in the family and all of that. And I'm like, well, yeah, but you know, my mom and I have very different lifestyles, I will say. So I think there's maybe more of that playing a role in it for her. Oh, can't stay long. You're having one of those southern severe thunderstorms and you're buffering. Oh no, I'm sorry, Sam. Well, I appreciate you and thank you for your $20 super chat. I appreciate that. Thank you, Steve C. Thank you. So yeah, I'm kind of, you know, I kind of thought when they took her in the first time, they were just going to do it that day because of supposedly how severe the blockages were. But now they keep pushing it out, and I'm like, is there something I'm missing that they keep pushing it out? Like, so, but my mom only kind of tells me half, like bits and pieces of stuff. So we'll see. There's only so much I can do to help her. So it is what it is. Did I find out what the caterpillars were about? So they're still in their cocoons right outside this door. They apparently were, for whatever reason, drawn to the side of the house from wherever they finished eating, and they all were fat and happy and ready to make their cocoons, and they migrated up to the side of the house, and there's dozens of them just cocooned all around. They look like little dead leaves. It's crazy. So I'm just kind of keeping an eye. We're at like 1 week right now of them like all cocooned. So 2 more weeks and they should start emerging. So I'm going to try to catch some of that because it was really cool to watch them like literally like make their cocoons. Like I'd never sat there and watched one happen before. It was pretty interesting. Do they still have the cut one open, or can they do bypass surgery through a vein or artery now? It depends. Like my mother-in-law's had it done and they've gone in through her arteries. But I believe, according to the information that I have gotten from my mom, they do have to crack her open. At least that's what she led me to believe because of the types of blockages she has and what they have to do. So that was my understanding. But you know, it is what it is. I don't know. So they're excellent fishing bait. They very well could be. They very well could be. Oh, Frankie left the dogs outside and now they're like panting at the door. Hold on, let me let the girls back in real quick because I don't want them. It is rather warm right there right now. Come on, Chris. Come on. My prissy little indoor dogs, they're not made for that rough and tumble hot patio, you know? I know. Well, I think she's prepared. I don't know if I feel like she's taking it as seriously as I think she should be taking it. But we'll see. I don't know. It's gonna be interesting. So like I think I know she's scared about it, but I think that she's also slightly in denial, perhaps, maybe on some level. I'm not sure about some of it as well. So we'll see. The view's not clear. Looks like fog. I don't know. I must have missed something. I don't know. Like my camera's foggy. I don't know. Maybe shouldn't be. I'm trying to see. I don't see any fingerprints on it or schmutz. Oh, I think I'm schmutz free. I don't know. Okay, there we go. Thank you, Cat Fur Kitten Britches. I know, right? Some days Susie and some days not, you know. It just depends. Okay, good. Thank you, Tim Beverly. View is clear. Okay. Good to go. We're good to go. I'm happy to hear it. Yeah, so this, like, honestly, this time of year right now, because we skipped doing birds this year, is just sort of a little bit more mellow. Like, I don't have quite as much constant chaos, and I didn't hatch anybody out this year, and I didn't, like, normally I'm like incubating round after round. I've got birds sitting on nests. I've got new birds getting shipped in, and we usually by now we've got at least one batch out to pasture, if not two. So, dude, cool it with the butchering. I don't have anything to butcher right now. Hi. Okay, I don't know there, Sly. I don't know what to tell you. So I am going to keep this live, not like super short, but a little bit on the shorter side today, just because I do have that meeting in a little while, and I just feel like, I don't know, today was such a day. You know what I mean? Like I kind of feel like I just like have bad energy that I sort of have to shake off, and I don't want to like shake it off onto you guys just from my weird day that I had. And like I said, it wasn't even that it was bad. It's just like weird. It was like one weird thing after another, and it's just like continuing to get strange, more and more strange, I guess. But it is what it is. Um, and then my girlfriend called me because another mutual friend of ours is getting married tomorrow, and I guess the wedding photographer's assistant bailed, and she couldn't find anybody else to cover. And the bride and the groom are getting ready in two different places, and they need somebody to take pictures at the groom's location. And Mike used to do photography, but that was like a while ago. Not that he still doesn't know how to do it, but he's got a lot of stuff he needs to get done. And this would be like a weird chunk in the middle of the day where he would have to go and do this. And I'm not sure if he's going to be able to have time to do that. So I'm like, you know, I know, Sam. I hear ya. I get it. I get it. I feel the same way sometimes. I feel the same way. But yeah, so I don't know. He might decide yes, he will, or he's gonna say no, I can't. It's too much. So we'll see. Mike is awesome. I mean, he is a really good photographer, but he also hasn't done wedding photography he's really technically only done a handful of weddings. The rest of all the photography he did was more like glamour and like product photography. He did a little bit of that, but nothing. Wedding photography is a little bit different, especially like the style of it has really shifted in the last couple of years, and he's really been out of the game of that for a while. So it's also like, well, how do you know you're gonna like the pictures that you get? And everybody takes pictures with an iPhone now, and you can make it look like it's relatively professional if you even semi know what you're doing. So I don't know. It is what it is. Good evening, Dave Ward. Good evening, good evening. His personality would be perfect for a wedding photographer. It's funny that you say that because he used to come home and like there was a period of time where he did quite a few weddings in a row. And I remember he came home from one wedding because they're exhausting. Like shooting a full wedding, like a real wedding, is exhausting because you're lugging around all your gear. You're constantly, you got to keep track of where all the people are, and it's a lot. Like it is a lot. If you're doing a good job, it's a lot. And sometimes the brides are a little high maintenance and a little bridezilla-y, I guess. So I do remember there was one time that he came home and he was like, "Oh, that was a rough one." And I was like, "Why, what happened?" He's like, "The bride was rough." And I was like, "Oh, what do you mean? Like, how was she rough?" And he's like, "Well, first of all, she looked like a train wreck." And he said something along the lines of like, there was no fixing that face. Like, it was just bad. He's like, "I don't care what kind of lighting, whatever I do, I can't fix that. Like, it's bad." And and I was like, "Ouch, Mike." And he's like, "And she was not very nice." And I was like, "Oh no." And he's like, "Yeah, like it was just like a bad, like all the way around." He's like, "Nobody can make that woman look good, and she was nasty." So like, okay, you know. But yes, but he's pretty good with the nervous brides, though, So nice to take a break from the tech channel streams that you frequent. Okay, well, we're happy to have you. I say we. I'm the only one here right now. Frankie's in her room doing what Frankie does on a Friday evening, and Mike's not home yet. He's driving. So you had a friend that was a nationally known wedding photographer. He shot as a journalist, no touch up. Yeah. So when you really know what you're doing as a photographer, you don't really do a lot of editing. I mean, there's some tweaking you might do here and there, but you're not going in and doing like severe airbrushing and changing the contrast and doing all that because if you're good enough and you have all your settings right, you shouldn't have to, you know. But there's sometimes where somebody is just, you know, there's, even though it's your wedding day, doesn't mean that you're automatically photogenic. I'm just gonna put that out there. You know, you can put lipstick on a pig, still a pig. I don't say this to be mean. It just is what it is, you know. I mean, some people, like, you're talking purely photography, but if you're talking like, you know, I don't know, that sounds mean, but like, I don't mean it to sound mean. I just mean it that, like, if you're talking about something that's a visual art, if the subject is less than appealing in some ways and has a nasty attitude, it's going to kind of probably come through a bit, I would imagine. Just saying. Like, I mean, it's one thing if she's got a, you know, a face like a train wreck, but she's like the sweetest human being you could ever meet in your life. It makes her more attractive. But if she's face like a train wreck and she's a real see you next Tuesday, then that's it. There's no fixing that. Oh, I'm dying over here. Oh. Nationally known wedding photographer. He shot. Oh, I saw that. Okay, where's the one that I just saw that like went away? Oh, there it is. I remember the one shoot that the bride was a TV anchor, very pale skin, dark blue veins. That sounds scary. Your beautiful bride works at the sheriff's office, and our wedding photographer was a friend of hers from the forensics lab at work. I think it was weird for him that we were all still breathing. Oh my God, that's funny. Ah, it does make for a short stream. You're right. I know. I'm just like randomly choking over here. Don't mind me. But yeah, I know. I will say this little teaser, and I'm not gonna say anything yet, but we will be making some big announcements in the very near future about some things that I'm really excited about, and I can't wait to tell you guys. But we'll see. We'll see if you guys feel the same way. I think you will. I think you guys will like it. But oh, you talked him into retouching her pictures or unflattering. Yeah. Well, there's sometimes like, you know, it's like sometimes you'll look at something in person because I've gone a lot of shoots. My dad was a wedding photographer too. So I had assisted him a few times. And sometimes you'll look at what's in front of you and doesn't look very good. But then on the back of the camera, because of the way the lighting is and the angle, it looks amazing. But the opposite can also be true. Looks really good standing in front of you, but then on the back of the camera, not so much, you know? So. No hints, Tim. You just have to like stick around, check in over the next few weeks or so, and you'll see. You'll see. I know. Dave wants to know how the goat is doing after the banding. He's doing really well. They're still there. They haven't dropped off yet. And it's been, let's see, I think we're on week 2 right now. Yeah. So, but they've definitely, you can tell they've shriveled. There's progress being made, but he's eating, drinking, running around, acting like a lunatic, like a normal kid does. I can tell Caroline is a little irritated with it. He's definitely the more annoying kid to mom. Like I can tell Caroline is like, oh my God, like she loves him. Like I can tell. Like she takes good care of them still, but she's also like, okay, like you don't have to jump on top of me, you know. So Chicken Peak Mountain says, I had a friend put out tubs of disposable cameras and invited people to go take all the pictures they could. They ended up using more of those pictures than that of the professional photographer. I've been to weddings like that where well, not recently, but I would say maybe more in like the early 2000s, mid to late 90s when those disposable camera things were kind of first out and popular. Now everybody does digital. So now what I've seen people do is they'll make like a Dropbox and they'll tell everybody at the weddings, like email them or Dropbox them the pictures they took at the wedding on their phones, which I think is a good idea too, to kind of have that. But yeah, I mean, the disposable camera is like it's a cute little party favor thing, and as long as people remember to actually put them back, for you to accept that developing them probably cost you an arm and a leg. But if you don't have a wedding photographer and you do that, definitely cheaper, I would think, because wedding photography gets expensive. So, oh, Dave says the reason he asked is that a couple of friends just did some to cattle and they were not happy. They're generally not happy right when it happens, but after like an hour or two, it's business as usual and it's no big deal. So it's probably all right. Hello, Ted. They do still make disposable cameras, cat fur kitten britches, and I only know that because when Frankie went to sixth grade camp, they encouraged the kids to bring disposable cameras because they were not allowed any electronics at all. So they couldn't have like their digital cameras or their phones to take pictures with or anything like that. So everything had to be the disposable cameras, and they do still have them at like Rite Aid, Walgreens, Walmart, those types of places. You can still get them. Now finding a place that still does developing is going to be another story. But so we still haven't developed it yet. I think there's a place in town that does. We just haven't gone and dropped it off yet. But yeah, you can still find them, which is crazy. But 10 years ago, okay, that's not too bad. Steve C says that, as a matter of fact, the wedding photographer took more pics of their daughter taking pictures with the disposable camera than anyone else. That's funny. Brides fall into two groups. One wants the best, cost be damned. The other wants cheap, but wants to say they paid a professional. They can ruin your reputation. That is true, Gunga Din. That is true. Probably every bride says this. I was actually a really easy bride. I was working so much at the time while we were planning the wedding that I literally handed it over to my mom and our family friend Belinda. And I had very little interaction with anybody involving the wedding. So I didn't even have a chance to be a bridezilla. Our friend did the wedding photography. It was Mike's photography business partner at the time. Our friend, who's one of Frankie's godfathers and was Mike's best man, one of his best men, he DJ'd. So we had because we worked in that kind of community, it was really easy for us to just be like, hey, can you do this? How much? I mean, we still paid everybody. Wasn't like anybody worked for free. But we knew we could trust them and we didn't have to give them a lot of instruction because they knew a lot of our friends and they knew our family already. So we didn't have to say like, oh, that's the mother of the bride, that's the father, it was real easy. We just said like, go do what you do, so it was no big deal. Everybody knew everything. So, okay. That's a very odd question there, mister. Okay. I don't know how I feel about that. Yeah, I finally just blocked him. I was nice about it, but now I blocked him. I'm like, there's this very weird group of gentlemen that occasionally they get very excited about the fact that a woman can process meat, and I don't understand that. I think it's weird. Um, and I don't welcome that kind of attention. So when I give them the nice, gentle warning and they persist, finally I'm like, I have to block you. Thank you, cat fur. Yes, I agree. They're short. I do have T-Rex arms. I've talked about that many times. In fact, my girlfriend was teasing me the other day because we were somewhere. I don't remember what we were doing. And I said, can you reach that for me? And she's like, you can reach that. And I put my arm up to show her, and then her fingers were just enough past mine when we stand shoulder to shoulder that she could reach it. Like, it's a good half a hand. So it's not like, I mean, but I just proportionally, it's just like she always teases me because I'm like, see, you can reach that, even though we're like the same height. She could reach something that I can't, just because she's got that little bit of extra reach on her arm. So yeah, T-Rex arms. That's right. No, it's actually like a family joke. Like my cousin and I, so it's all from my dad's side of the family. For some reason, we just have these slightly shorter arms. And so we always joke that like we have T-Rex arms. And so like my cousin and I used to send each other like memes of like T-Rexes doing push-ups, and we'd be like, darn those speckle arms, like, like it's just, just kind of just one of those things. But well, thank you. But yeah, it's just funny because there's certain things that it's funny. Like if I sit down, like if somebody was like, if Mike was sitting next to me right now, we would look like we were the same height. I can sit down next to somebody who's taller than me and look like I'm the same height because I have a really long torso. But then if I go to reach something, like if we both put our arms out straight, like if Jen and I, my girlfriend Jen, who she and I are basically the same size, her arm would be like this much farther out than mine. It's just weird. Yeah, I mean, I guess nobody would notice if I didn't point it out, but I'm very aware of it because I guess because I just am. I don't know. So, yes, Dave Ward, fire away. Feel free to ask a ranch/farm question instead of my T-Rex arms. That's probably good. Lay it on me. I know it. Yeah, I do have these darn geese, man. So they keep stealing everybody's eggs. And I had a duck that was sitting on a clutch, and they've now kicked her off the clutch and they're sitting on it. And I think there's only like 2 eggs in the clutch anyway, because they took all the bad ones out because she laid them in a really weird place that I don't think they were going to be viable anyway. So pretty much, cat fur kitten bridges. They're short too, but they do reach the floor most of the time. But if you notice, well, maybe you guys can't tell because you're not in the 3-dimensional world here, but or 4-dimensional world here. But all of my furniture is very low to the ground, because I have short legs and I don't like my feet to dangle when I'm sitting like a little kid. So I do tend to buy furniture that sits lower on the ground so that I can still sit on it comfortably and have my feet touch the ground. But like most couches would be a little bit higher and then my feet would dangle. It's like when I go to a friend's house and I sit on their couch, my feet dangle because I'm like little. So that's yeah. I'm tiny. Well, molt is a molt, right? But usually, if you're referring to like a softer molt, you'll see it'll be less noticeable. they won't be fully molting. It'll only be like in a little bit. You'll see kind of their undergrowth. They're like almost like they're down kind of underneath. They might have, sometimes that can be spurred by, just because a chicken doesn't molt at all like the first 18 months. And so when they go into that after their first year of laying is usually around the 18-month mark, typically, if you're thinking spring chicken, right? So usually that's when they go into their next molt, or their first molt, I should say. And I've had some chickens where all of their molts have been super soft. Like you could barely even tell they were molting. They just had a little bit, they just looked a little disheveled, like almost like think of it if their feathers were hair, like a hair would be out of place and kind of cowlicky. Their feathers kind of do that, and you might see a little bit of patchiness, especially during like in the spring when the boys are participating in things. Sometimes the girls will get a little bit patchier. Some of them will get patchier than others because they're already kind of in a molting situation. But I've had some birds that just have a more extreme, when they molt big time. And a lot of times what I've found, and I've had lots of different breeds, is that when they do, like usually around I'm going to say like their 3.5 year mark seems to be when they go through like this giant molt to where everybody looks like they're going to die. And that just seems to be the marker for them. I hear screaming coming from Frankie's room. She must be very excited about something. Sorry. But yeah, so, and there's nothing wrong with it, and it will just last as long as it lasts. Just make sure that you're giving them enough, protein and right nutrients, so that they can not stress their bodies out as they're trying to produce eggs. Depending to some chickens don't follow the rules, and they go into molts at weird times. And so I just always make sure that they have like a good supplement or a good supply of calcium and protein. Those are your two big things that you want to think about. That's why I like that black fly larva, that Grubterra, because it does have a good array of those things to help with molting and with continuing to lay eggs, so it's not stressing their little bodies out. But I hope they answered it for you somewhat. So, trying to catch back up with where I was. You had a goose set and hatched 3 new baby geese, little goslings. And then a hen came home with 13 babies. Aw. I've never seen one go completely featherless. Like I've seen it be pretty dang extreme, but not like head to toe featherless. Like I've never seen, and I mean, I had a parrot, I have had all kinds of chickens, all kinds of like everybody. There's times where they look like extremely ragged. It almost looks like if you looked at them, you'd be like, oh my God, is that bird sick? No, it's just molting. When it's a really like extreme, like, oh, it's in a big molt. Like I don't really specify it like soft or hard like that. I've never really heard anybody like refer to it that way, but I would say like if it's more of an extreme or a hard molt, they do look a little rough. And then you'll see like it's patchy. So they look like they've got little, in fact, I did a video on it last year, I think it was, about molting, because I had a couple birds that were going through like a more severe molt, and they literally had like patches on them that were, they looked like porcupines because all their quills were coming in, all their pin feathers, I should say, and it looked like a little porcupine on the back. And now part of that was from breeding, but part of it was from their feathers, their molt, because there was other areas where it was not from the rooster that they were molting. It was just that time of year. It was just more severe. So, but yeah, just make sure they have good nutrition during that time, and then they'll be fine. Did I ever figure out the deal with the caterpillars? Yes, Ted. They're all in chrysalises, cocoons, hanging on the front of the house, and they should hatch or emerge, or whatever it is they do, in like 2 more weeks. So, yeah. Wait, did I miss something? Oh, I just got that. That's funny. Catford Kitten Riches is saying, is that a math problem we need to solve with all the geese and the chickens and this and that? It's never a problem. That's chicken math. You just always have more. 1 chicken, 2 chicken, 40 chickens. That's how that works. So, what breed are they? Are we talking about the caterpillars or the chickens? I'm confused now. You're tall and have 40-inch tall counters. It's a pain to get up from a low seat. Yeah. That is definitely one of the things I look at when I'm like somewhere is like how tall is everything, the counters, the seats. Like if I go in, like if we go to a restaurant and I take a quick scan and I see that the booths are really high and the seat chairs are really high, I'm like, I'm gonna go, at least in the booth I can kind of tuck my feet up, you know? So I always kind of like I always kind of look at that sort of thing. Oh, Cat Fur says that they protected and raised monarchs for years. They had small cages and put them in to protect from wasps and birds. I know my girlfriend was telling me that I should have done that when they were still crawling, when the caterpillars were still caterpillaring. Um, she's like, yeah, my daughter has all those things, and she'll like randomly order the caterpillars, and then she puts them in these netting things and lets them spin their thing, and she leaves food and whatever in their farm. And then once they come out, she releases them outside. And I'm like, oh, that'd be cool, but I didn't have anything like that set up. And honestly, they're pretty well protected over here. I think not. There's one bird that's got a nest over here right now, and it's beautiful. I don't know what it is, but it's got this beautiful red head, and it sings the prettiest. It's right outside my bathroom window, which sounds weird, but it is. And I can see it on the little fence post. If I look, it's literally like from me to the computer, away from me through the window. And it's got a nest in the eaves right above, and it's the prettiest bird, and it sings the prettiest songs, and I just think it's really cool. So I don't know. You're confused too, Tim? Isn't everybody? Ugh, something in the air, I think. Something in the air. Well, guys, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this Friday night up. I appreciate you guys for coming and hanging out with me tonight. I'm sorry I had to like restart it because life, but there it is. I hope everybody has a really nice, mellow, the way my Friday was today, weekend for all of you. Hope it's chaos free, and I hope you get to enjoy some nice weather wherever you are, and maybe get outside and do something fun, or maybe stay inside and watch Netflix and eat popcorn. I don't know, but either way, I hope you have a great weekend, and we post new videos every Sunday, every Wednesday, and go live every Friday. Thank you guys for hanging out with me, and thank you, Steve. Thanks, guys, and have a great rest of your night. Bye.